You know, Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, it's so much more than just a comic book, right? It's this deep dive, this really sharp critique of our society. So, in this explainer, we're going to tear it all down. We're going to look at how it talks about institutions falling apart and society just collapsing, and how, when a state fails, well, something monstrous is bound to take its place. And really, this one idea, it's the key to everything. It's the core argument of the whole story. When the world goes completely off the rails, the only way to get control back is with an even crazier, more focused kind of madness. That's the lens we have to look through when we talk about Batman coming back. All right, so first up, let's set the stage. We've got to understand the world he's stepping back into. Gotham here isn't just a place on a map. No, it's a living, breathing character. And it's literally suffocating. There's this oppressive heat wave that's more than just weather. It's a symbol for all the tension just boiling over in the streets. And this is where it gets really interesting. The book calls Gotham a neo-frontier. Think about that. It's like the Wild West all over again, but in a modern city. All the traditional institutions you'd rely on, the cops, the courts, you name it, they've just completely failed. This creates a massive power vacuum, this lawless zone, which, by the way, tapped right into those real-world fears about cities crumbling in the 80s. So a guy like Batman coming back, it doesn't even feel like a choice, it feels inevitable. So when everything's broken, what do people do? They try to slap a Band-Aid on it, right? And that's exactly what the story gets into with this idea of the myth of rehabilitation. It shows us in painful detail how the system fails to heal the city's real problems. And it uses one character in particular to hammer this point home, with, let's just say, brutal clarity. And that character is, of course, Harvey Dent. His story is it's the perfect case study for how broken the system is. He basically becomes a symbol for this kind of optimistic, almost naive belief that you can fix any deep-seated problem with a little bit of therapy and some plastic surgery. And this is where the story just perfectly illustrates that total disconnect. On one hand, you've got the promise, right? The state-sanctioned cure, a healed face, a supposedly healed mind, all pushed by experts who don't even believe in the concept of evil. But then, there's the reality, and it is so much darker. The cure doesn't fix him. It actually destroys what little good was left in Harvey and unleashes Two-Face completely. When he says this, his face is physically perfect, symmetrical. But that physical wholeness is just a mask for his now complete madness. The fight inside him is over. The good Harvey is gone. In his mind, he's finally whole because he's completely two-faced. It's just this absolutely chilling takedown of a system that only knows how to fix the outside, but has no clue how to reach the soul. Okay, so the system is a total failure. The book makes that brutally clear. So what's the answer? Well, the story gives us a radical one. When the cures fail and everything's fallen apart, you need something else, a different kind of force. It's time for a monster to come back and take what's his. See, for Bruce Wayne, retirement wasn't some peaceful golden years thing. It was basically a prolonged, agonizing death. He doesn't even see Batman as part of himself anymore. He calls it the Beast, this primal thing he's been trying to keep locked up. So his return isn't some heroic decision, it's an addiction, a relapse. He just can't fight anymore, especially with all the chaos in the city. And here's the kicker. He's 55. He's not fast anymore. He has to be a strategist, a brute who relies on tech and armor to get the job done. And his first big fight back really drives that home. He goes up against the mutant leader. This guy is a beast in his physical prime, and Batman gets absolutely wrecked. His age, his arrogance, it leads to a brutal, almost deadly beatdown. It's a harsh lesson. The way he used to do things, the old Batman, it's just not going to cut it anymore. So for round 2, he has to adapt. And he does more than just change his tactics. He changes the whole damn battlefield. He lures the mutant leader into a mud pit. Genius, right? It totally negates the leader's strength and speed, turning it from a quick fight into this ugly, grinding battle. It's not about who's stronger anymore. It's about strategy, about Batman using his brain and his experience to just systematically take this guy apart. And this quote, man, it just says it all. Batman completely reframes the fight. He's not a brawler here. He's a surgeon. He's cold, calculating, and precise. He's showing that his real power isn't in his fists, it's in his head. This is that superior form of madness we were talking about, and it's absolutely terrifying. But look, one guy, no matter how intense, can't act in a vacuum, right? His actions are going to cause ripples. So now, let's shift gears and look at how society reacts to Batman's return. And more importantly, how the media grabs that reaction, twists it, and blasts it out to everyone. Throughout the entire book, the TV is always on. It's basically the story's Greek chorus. It's not just background noise, it's a huge part of the narrative. You've got this endless, chaotic stream of talking heads, all shouting at each other, and their commentary is what shapes how everyone sees what's happening. It forces you to pick a side. So on one side of the screen, you've got the intellectual argument. Think figures like Dr. Wolper. Yeah, the same guy who cured Harvey Dent. For them, Batman isn't the solution. He's part of the problem. A social disease. They call him a fascist, a violent symptom of a sick society who only makes things worse. And then you flip the channel and you get the complete opposite take, the more populist view. They see Batman as the only sane reaction in a world gone mad. Their argument is pretty simple. When the system won't do its job, you need someone like Batman to step in. He's not the hero they might want, but he's the one they think they desperately need. So what's the result of this nonstop media war? The city is completely split in two. There is no middle ground. The media isn't just reporting on the division, it's actively creating it, making it deeper. This constant shouting match on TV forces everyone into a corner. You're either for him or against him. It kills any chance for a real conversation and just fuels the fire. It's a pretty sharp critique of how media can tear us apart, and honestly, it feels more relevant now than ever. And nowhere is this split more obvious than with the next generation. You gotta ask, how do the kids of Gotham react to all this chaos? Well, the story shows us two very, very different paths, two possible futures for the entire city. Okay, so let's just lay it out. On one side, you've got the mutants. Their motivation? Nothing. Pure nihilism and violence for the sake of it. They don't believe in anything. Then you got Carrie Kelly, the new Robin. She's the polar opposite. She's all about hope and taking action, completely rejecting the whatever attitude of her parents. And where they end up couldn't be more different. The mutants become a radicalized army, and Carrie becomes a partner. And visually, this is just genius. Think about the art style of the whole book. It's dark, it's gritty, it's all muted colors, it feels morally gray. And then, bam, there's Carrie Kelly in that bright red and yellow Robin costume. It's a deliberate choice. She is a literal splash of color in this bleak world, a visual sign that maybe, just maybe, the legacy of the Bat doesn't have to be all darkness. Which brings us to the end, and to some of the most uncomfortable questions in the whole story. We've watched Batman win. We've watched him impose his will on the city. But now we have to look at what comes next, at the consequences of that victory, and at this fascist critique that the comic basically invites you to consider. And the chain of events here is, well, it's chillingly logical. Step 1, Batman beats their leader. Step 2, the gang is now lost, looking for a new, stronger leader to follow. Step 3, they start calling themselves the Sons of the Batman. And then step 4, in this really murky, morally gray move, Batman just accepts it. He takes this violent street gang and turns them into his own private army to enforce his version of order. And so we're left with this one final, really provocative question. Look, The Dark Knight Returns doesn't give you any easy answers. It's not supposed to. It just shows you a world where all the normal systems have completely and utterly failed. And then it asks, what's supposed to replace them? When you're up against monsters born from chaos, is the only answer another monster? A superior form of madness? That's the tough, unsettling question that sits right at the very heart of this incredible story.